Okay, welcome to 10. This is Tech Entrepreneurs Nebraska, brought to you by the Nebraska Tech Collaborative, powered by the Exarban Foundation. I do have the giggles. It is a fact. It's true.
I know. I thought you were going to lose it there, but I think you can get through it. You can get through it.
I got through it. I'm Shauna Dorsey, here with my co-host,
Brian Poppy. I work at Mutual of Omaha. We're joined by Mary Clare, also known as MC, which I'm going to call you MC from here on out because we're friends.
Yes. Cheers.
MC, how are you?
It's a great day. It's a beautiful day, actually. And I'm really grateful to be here. I love talking about the intersection of technology and wellness, especially in regard to yoga and meditation and mindfulness and how it can really help and benefit everybody.
Yes.
I also like talking about that, but you have a very particular reason why you like talking about this. So why don't you tell us what you do?
Great. I started Lotus House of Yoga in 2010. So I've been operating a business in Lincoln and Omaha, and now we have a studio in Mexico City, as well as online for, 14 years now. And it's been an incredible journey. I grew up in Lincoln. I moved to New York for a hot second. And then when I moved back, I taught dance. In that journey, I was always practicing yoga. I've actually been practicing yoga since I was 12 years old. So it's kind of young. I practiced with my mom. And it was never something that was like weird to me. So it definitely felt very natural and like a part of who I was. In my role teaching yoga, I kind of found that there was such a gift of peace and calm whenever students left my class. And so I realized this was like the most amazing business to leave in or to run, because every single person that left just felt excellent, a little euphoric, definitely peaceful and kind, and, wanting to connect to people in an authentic way. And I thought to myself, this is, what I want to do for the rest of my life. So
that is so awesome. So we've had several conversations with people today who have found like the thing that they are like, this is the thing that I'm here to do. And that's really a fantastic place to get to. Yeah. Don't you think?
For sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I think it requires you to lose everything in a way. You really have to let go of the expectations that you had for your life or what you thought it was going to be like. And it certainly requires you to let go of this idea that it's going to be like follow a path, because when you take on this role, you have to, of an entrepreneur or starting something, you have to really build your own path, make your own path, and nobody wrote the book for you. You really have to write it yourself.
I love that. Go ahead.
I was going to say, congrats on your success. I mean, like, you've grown a lot since starting, whatever you said, 14 years ago.
Yeah, we really have. It grew like wildfire the first 5 years, and we scaled really quickly. I did not know what scale meant at that time. I actually entered entrepreneurship with a passion for my craft, a really, really excellent talent and gift in marketing. But in regard to like running a business, I didn't know much about that. So I really learned from my family and from friends as we went along, and of course the internet as well. And I think that really allowed me to shift and pivot and grow in the realm of technology. When I started Lotus House in 2010, we didn't have any advertising dollars, so we only advertised on Facebook. And I got so much kickback from like other yoga studios. I was like, yoga shouldn't be on the internet. It shouldn't be on Facebook. And I was like, this is the way that I'm going to tell people about my company. And we've always kind of had that like elbow grease, just like figure it out, figure a great way to do it. And because of that, we were able to survive the pandemic. And we had so much yoga, fitness, mindfulness, meditation, and really community aspect online that we have this whole entire online studio now that is as much a part of Lotus as is our brick and mortar locations.
That is fantastic. I just love the innovation behind it too, because it's like when I think of traditional, like the startup space, I think tech, high growth, et cetera. And that's definitely what it is. But there is still awesomeness and scrappiness with entrepreneurs who can be innovative and not just say, okay, well, this hurdle came about and I guess I'm going to shut down. And my thing the way I was doing it isn't working. So I guess that's it. You're like, nope, that thing is not working. We need to innovate. And that's outstanding. That's how you survive, right? And thrive.
Yeah.
So we were talking a little bit, or you in your intro, you mentioned something about the intersection between technology and the tech workforce, if you will. and meditation, mindfulness, wellness. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that?
There's so much data around our screens and computers and, being connected to something so closely that doesn't really care for you back in a way. And I think that yoga and meditation helps you connect with yourself. And that is, the ultimate caring being in your life, self-care. So when you practice yoga and you practice meditation, it actually sharpens your gifts and talents that you have, so that when you return to the screen, to the computer, to your sales pitch, to your networking, you're actually more of yourself. And we know that when you lead with your gifts, when you lead with your talents, the whole world shifts to attend to what you're doing. When you're trying to be something that you're not, or trying to front in a way like, this is who, and I have to be this certain way, we know that everything is kind of like misaligned or inauthentic after that. So yoga and mindfulness not only help you become a better version of yourself, but they help you show up with that self in the real world. Also, we know that burnout is huge in, tech culture, as well as just overall, corporate 9-to-5 culture. And yoga and meditation have an incredible power to help soothe that burnout, because it returns you to something. And it's almost a little counterintuitive. The number one rule in yoga, law of yoga, is that nothing lasts forever. It's called the law of impermanence. And when you recognize that as a fundamental truth, you can start to look at your stress and look at your burnout and look at your lifestyle as something that isn't going to last forever. And you have the power to withstand maybe a shorter duration, rather than identifying with that burnout as like, this is my life forever now, and I guess it's how it's going to be. So it's also very empowering. It allows you to become creative and create a lifestyle and a livelihood that really does align more with your vision, whatever that may be.
Mm.
Boy, for those of us that are not quite as flexible as we should be, how do we get started?
So if I had a dime for every time somebody said like, I can't do yoga because I'm not flexible.
Oh no, I feel like I can. I just can't do it very well.
First of all, we want to have a growth mindset in everything we do, right? And I think a lot of us who are in entrepreneurial or tech spaces, we're perfectionists and we hold ourselves to really high standards. Shauna just did an incredible thing with your 5K journey, and it really, asked you to step into a place where you were kind of uncertain and didn't know how it was going to go. So there's no magic trick. You have to just go, I don't know how to do this perfectly. I'm going to go in and try anyway. Now, the number one thing to remember in yoga class is this all about your breath. And so if you do nothing but breathe deeply the whole time, you have been totally successful. Now, interestingly, the way that your breath affects your nervous system will allow you to sort of soften, maybe stretch a little bit more, maybe find those postures a little bit more easily. So I always say yoga is just a breathing exercise. So as long as you can breathe, you can practice yoga.
That's good advice.
Yeah. I'm just thinking back to when I was at Mutual of Omaha and we had, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank on his name. You might remember him, but anyway, he has a meditation practice and he would bring classes into Jonathan.
Yeah.
Jonathan Woodside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember going to one of those classes. I signed up and I was like, I don't know what this meditation stuff is. And I had such a hard time just sitting there. And I was like, what is the point of this? Mm-hmm. And after a few sessions, it's like literally life-changing in a way, because you get quiet and peaceful. And then the stress that was in my head, I'm like, oh, it's just noise. They're just thoughts. It's wild.
I love leading like
impactful
sales teams through meditation, because people who are in sales or development are just like monkey mind to no end. And they sit there and it's like, all I can hear are all these thoughts and all the things that I have to do. But actually, that's okay. You're never going to be in a place where your thoughts are going to clear. That's a total misnomer. You have to begin to watch those thoughts. But when I come back, and the next time or get feedback, they're like, my sales were great that weekend. I was able to recover and have resiliency and move on to the next thing and pitch this huge, and it's like, even if it doesn't feel like meditation is working, meditation is working.
It does. You are so right. Yeah.
Love it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. As somebody who's dabbled in that a little bit too, it does feel better. It's more of just like, I forget to carve out the time until it's like gone too far.
Yeah. Well, the most famous meditation line is you should meditate for 20 minutes every day. Unless you're too busy, then it should be 60 minutes.
I love it. Well, we appreciate you being here. This is just, even like you being the last guest is just calming and
I know.
a great wind down for this session. So
Well,
we
let's take a
appreciate
breath together. Can we?
you. Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
So wherever you are, just take your attention into the center of your chest. And let's take a nice slow inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, exhale. Soften something, your shoulders, your jaw, your temples. Beautiful. All right.
MC, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So great.
Thanks, everyone.